Okay, welcome everybody to today's workshop. This workshop is titled How to Build a Profitable Coaching Business. And I have slides. For last week, we had about, I think, 15 people show up live, and I taught with slides. But for today, I am thinking that I want to teach without slides for today. But if there's any particular concept that I want to stress, for example, this diagram, I find it very useful. I'm going to come back to sharing my screen. Okay. So I want to share with you a statistic I found when I was researching for this workshop. It was a research done by the American Psychiatric Association, which found that 67% of Americans report feeling anxious about world events, worried about their health, safety, and financial security. And so it kind of underscores the fact that right now in 2026, I believe is the best time to launch a coaching business. And if you already have a coaching business, to kind of double down because people need our services. 67% of Americans report feeling anxious about world events. And when you look at the services we provide as coaches, it kind of encompasses those areas where people struggle with. So think about health, think about finances, and think about relationships. And that's like the three broad areas that coaching services covers. And so I'm just curious. Tell me in the chat, what's your coaching niche? So Linda, I already know your coaching niche. You help women to who are kind of sober curious or they want to stop drinking altogether, but for to son. I want to know, do you have a niche already? If you do, does your niche fall within the three main broad categories of the coaching market, which is health, wealth, or relationships? So for you, Linda, I would say yours falls under health. And I would say it even spills into relationships. Yes, I was going to say, Linda, yours is in health. The reason I'm saying it spills into relationships is because we know that alcohol dependency um, affect relationships. That could be spousal relationships or parent-child relationships, even friendships, right? I've known people I've known in the past who had alcohol dependency and issues with alcohol affected their friendships. Susan says, maybe health. My niche is life design. Okay, fantastic. Alcoholism also, oh yeah, it impacts wealth big time, big time. Yes, so I love this so much. Okay, so those are the key main areas. Now, I usually want to say the three areas I see that many coaches make mistakes, and I want to say for people to kind of avoid making those mistakes. One of them is charging per hour. So if you have a coaching business and you're charging per hour, there are many pitfalls around charging per hour, and I see as that's one of the reasons why many coaches are unable to scale as fast as they would want to. Another reason is because as coaches, when we're helping clients with a transformation, usually the first couple of sessions are very painful. Painful, not just from physical pain, but from emotional pain, because we have to uncover the root cause of whatever they are struggling with. And usually, those couple of sessions, if clients have the opportunity to not come for further sessions, then it makes it easier for them to cancel. If you sell per transformation, then they're locked in for that transformation so that they're committed to the transformation. And if you charge per hour and they're like, oh my gosh, coaching is terrible, I feel worse than I even started. And then they go and they say, oh, coaching doesn't work, and they give you terrible reviews. Like, we all know that that's the process of change. The first couple of sessions will be painful before we get to um, the promised land. The other mistake I see many coaches make is waiting for endless certifications. So they keep saying, oh, I need to be certified in somatic modalities. Or they say, oh, I need to take more leadership courses. I was stuck in that trap. And I actually tracked my numbers. Over the course of 3 years. I had invested over $180,000 on courses, certifications, and programs, and I had zero clients. Now, I'm not saying certifications are bad, no. All I'm saying is when we as coaches use learning to our disadvantage, we keep saying, oh, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. And the last mistake, number 3, is mindset blocks. And I know you already know this. 95% of the problems we face as coaches are mindset blocks. I believe that strategy only accounts for only 5%. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those mindset blocks as I go. Okay, I will skip all of these. I already explained. Okay, now I want to tell you about the cycle of change. In fact, when I found this, I was kind of blown away and I could resonate so well. So when you start an endeavor, so take your coaching business, for example, or any other business you've tried in the past, these are the 4 levels before you get to success. The first one is uninformed optimism. So let's say you are planning to launch a coaching business. You're so optimistic. You've seen all of these amazing Instagram videos of coaches living by the beach, and they have yachts, right? They paint you all of these pictures and you're like, oh, this is going to be easy. That's level 1, right? Uninformed optimism. And then you launch your coaching business, and then you get to level 2, informed pessimism. Now you begin to see all of the elements involved in running a coaching business. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is harder than I thought. That's level 2. Yes, you should say, yes, social media coaches always look rich. Yes, they always look rich, right? Okay, so that's level 2. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this coaching business is not like I've been seeing on social media, right? And then you get to level 3. Level 3 is what I call the valley of despair. That's where you're like, oh, this will never work for me. I cannot learn the tech. I am not confident on social media. I don't know how to sell. This is so difficult. That's the valley of despair. But if you persevere and you keep taking the action, you get to level 4, which is informed optimism. At this level, you're like, I think this can work. Maybe you've signed a couple of clients and money's coming in and you're like, I think I can make this work. And then from level 4, you get to level 5, which is success and fulfillment. This is where you can now scale your business. Now, many people try a venture like running a coaching business. They go from level 1, level 2, they get to this valley of despair, level 3, and they give up and they go back and they say, oh, maybe I'm going to be a therapist, or maybe I'm going to start, I don't know, another type of business, MLM. I'm going to try MLM, right? And then they go try MLM, and then they go from level 1, level 2, get to the valley of despair in MLM, go back to level 1, and they're like, oh, MLM didn't work. I'm gonna open a brick and mortar business, right? And people keep going from this level 1 to level 3, the valley of despair, and they keep going back. Most people never persevere enough to get to level 4 and level 5 where they find success. And so I believe as coaches, if we want successful coaching business, we have to be very honest with ourselves that if we hang on, taking the correct business growth action, right? I'm not talking about busy work. No, not busy work. I mean income producing action. And we stick with that, we will definitely create success. Like success becomes inevitable. And so I just found this cycle of change very interesting. And when I look at all of the ventures I had tried in the past that I gave up, at the Valley of Despair, I can see how this relates to that very clearly. So I want you to think about the last time you invested $5,000 or more in a service or a coaching program online. I want you to ask yourself, what made me buy? Why did I trust them? What convinced me that they could help? So I want you to think about the last time you invested high ticket, maybe 5K, 10K in a coaching program. I think that is desperate. Yeah. What makes us decide to buy from someone? Yeah, they were doing things I couldn't do. Yes. So I want you to think about to seriously, I was also desperate for help and the coach came highly recommended. Yes. Good. So I want you to think about all of the trust elements that were in place before you decided to invest in those coaches you bought from high ticket. I want you to start asking yourself, am I positioning myself that way so that the people I'm here to serve see me as trustworthy or see me as the answer for their problems to the point where they are ready to invest in themselves? So to say, I was also desperate for help and the coach came highly recommended. So think about your service as a coach. How can you position yourself in a way that the people you're here to serve see you as the option for them, choose you? Okay, so I want you to start thinking all of those trust elements that need to come into play for people to say, oh, I trust this person, I'm ready to invest in them. Now I want to kind of explain value and pricing, because many people say, oh, how do I price my offer in a way that it becomes a no-brainer for people? And pricing always comes with transformation. So think about the value you bring to the marketplace and the people you're trying to attract. Your pricing and your offer will attract different types of people. And I'm going to explain how. I want you to think right now, how much do I want to be making per month in my coaching business? So let's say you say, oh, if I make $5,000 per month, I'm going to be happy. Or if I make $10,000 per month, I'm going to be happy. Once you decide on how much you want to make per month, I want you to also write down on your journal, what's your offer price? How much is your offer price? Once you know how much you want to make per month and you know your offer price, then we can kind of break down your goals per month. Okay. So think about this. Let's use $100,000 as a round figure. Let's say you want to hit $100,000 in your business. Well, you have 4 different ways you can do that. You could work with 10 clients at $10,000. That will get you to your 100K goal. Option 2 is if your offer was $3,000, then you would need 34 clients to hit your 100K goal. Yes. Linda says it also matters how many hours a week you want to work. Exactly. That's such a good point. Because I had a client, well, she's still my client, and I asked her these questions, and then we came up with how many clients she needs to serve per month to hit her goal. And she goes, oh, that's a lot, right? Because there are many hours in a day. So if, let's say, you priced your offer at $3,000 and you needed 34 clients for the year, right? So you need to then say, oh, per client, if I'm seeing my client once a week, and remember that the once a week is not just the total amount of hours you spend per client, right? Because you have to invest some time with either creating materials for them or looking into their specific unique circumstance. So you coaching them just once per week doesn't mean your time allocation for that client is just once per week. So that's a very good point you mentioned, Linda. Option 3 is if you wanted your offer was $1,000, right? You would need 100 clients. And option four is if your offer was $100, let's say you have um, a checklist, an ebooks, a PDF you sell for $100, then you will need 1,000 clients. So there are many ways to hit your goal, but these are different clients, right? So the client that pays you $100 for a course or a PDF is a completely different type of client compared to a client that will invest $10,000 in a coaching program, right? So you need to understand your model because your model determines what kind of clients you attract. Okay, so when it comes to pricing, I want you to think about three types: do it yourself, do it with you, or done for you. Okay, and it's easier to see this example if you think about the example I love to use is a social media manager, right? So if you were doing it yourself, then the price will be lower compared to do it with you, which will involve more of your time as a coach. And if it's done for you with a lot more of your time, then the pricing goes up. This table just explains how much effort is involved for client compared to the coach for all three levels. For done for you, the client has to do a lot of the work. The coach responsibility is lower. Done with you is kind of medium on both sides, and then done for you, the roles are switched. So if as a coach you have a done for you offer, the client has a low effort and you have a high responsibility, and then you can charge premium 10K, 20K, right? So here is the social media example I was telling you. So imagine you saw a social media manager on Instagram and they were selling something for $97. They could give you a content plan for your business. They could give you a posting strategy. They could give you templates for $97. So that's a DIY. If they had another offer to say, oh, I could actually give you some accountability with weekly coaching calls and hands-on guidance, then they could kind of justify charging $3,500 per month. The higher end of that is if they say, oh, I'm going to create all your posts. I'm going to schedule all your posts. I'm going to do the edits, the videos. I'm going to handle your social media accounts. Like you don't even have to log into Facebook or Instagram. I'm going to log in, post for you, do all the engagement for you. Then they can charge premium, right? Because then for the client, it's completely hands off. I just wanted you to see how pricing works. Okay. Question for you. How do you demonstrate to people that you can help? So for you, Linda, how do you demonstrate to people that you can help them get sober? For you, I want to make sure I pronounce your name, your French name. Toussaint. Toussaint. How do you demonstrate to people your yeah. I remember. Thank you. Yeah. How do you demonstrate to people? I know you do live design. Okay. How do you demonstrate to people that you can actually get them the results? Linda says testimonials. Yes. Linda says my own story. Yes. Those are very good answers. I'm gonna tell you the best way you can demonstrate to people you can help them is by actually helping them. Yeah. I know you're like, well, what do you mean? Okay. The best way to demonstrate to people that you can actually help them is by actually helping them. So, Linda, imagine this. Someone has been watching your video on YouTube, right? So you post on YouTube once per week. Someone has been watching your video, and just from watching your content, they've reduced their alcohol intake from 2 bottles of wine per night, and they're down to just a glass per night per day, right? Just from listening to your podcast or watching your content. Now, you don't even know their name, right? You don't even know they exist, but they've just been watching your content on YouTube or on the podcast. Now, you've already demonstrated to them you can help because just from your content, they already are getting results. Okay, so that's an example of how you demonstrate to people that you can help them. And this is how I recommend you do it, that you have content publicly available to people for free that they can consume and solve their problem. Okay. And remember, the goal here is to build trust with people that you can actually get them the results. Because once people trust you, then they are more likely to invest in your program because they already know, oh, she already helped me. Okay. And I'm talking about this from experience. That's exactly how I've grown my business. People come to me and they're like, oh, from your YouTube video, I already signed 2 clients and now I want to scale my business. Why? Well, because I put out my best content is free. I know, because some people will teach you to gatekeep, right? To kind of don't give everything out for free. But I prefer to operate from a place of abundance. Now, I know you're in business to make money, but here's the thing: giving things away for free doesn't mean that people will take the action to get the results, right? So think about this. All of my processes, all of my systems, all of the way I get results for my clients, they're available on my YouTube channel for free. Still, people still send me a message to say, oh, I want to hire you as my coach. Why? The reason is because information alone doesn't result into transformation. Okay, so please do not be afraid to give out stuff for free. Now, earlier I talked about people thinking that they need additional certification, right? The key skill I see that is missing in most people is business skill. When we go for coaching certification, they do a tremendous job teaching us how to become coaches, but they don't spend as much time to teach us how to run a business. They are two completely different things. Okay. So there is the skill of business, the skill of entrepreneurship. How do you market effectively? How do you sell effectively? How do you create a compelling offer that people say yes to? How do you position yourself in a market that seems like it's overcrowded? Those are the skills that will help you actually create a profitable business, not additional leadership training, not additional training on somatic, I don't know, modalities. I believe that you already have the skill to get people results. The missing bit is your sales and marketing skill, your business skill. So if you do not take anything from this workshop, I want you to understand that if you can focus on building your business skill, you will grow your business. I love to talk about the 2 types of marketing. And you already know this, but I'm going to say anyways. There is interruption marketing and there is the invitation marketing. Interruption marketing is where you cold DM people, messaging people on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and pitching them your offer, making a list of your friends and family, and just hounding them to buy from you. This approach often, in my experience, triggers resistance and it creates exhaustion, especially when people start telling you no. Now, do not get me wrong. This strategy works for some people. There are people who just cold DM people, like 50,000 people per day. I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I mean. And then they get a couple of people respond and buy from them. But I personally do not love the energy of cold DMing people. And so there is the other type of marketing called invitation marketing. This is where you put out content and invite people to come see. And then people who are interested will say, oh, I'm interested. I want to come see. For example, a workshop, for example, a YouTube video, right? So those are the 2 types of marketing. If you follow me on social media, you may have seen this last week on my LinkedIn newsletter about Google's 7-11-4 rule. And I love this research so much because Google is attributed to Google, but like the history of this research goes way back further than Google. But what Google is saying is that for people to trust you enough to pay you high ticket, so when I say high ticket, I'm thinking 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. They need at least 7 hours of content. People need to see 7 hours of content on 11 touch points on 4 different platforms. So the question I love to ask people is this: where would I go to watch 7 hours of high quality content from you? Where would your potential client go to watch 7 hours of your content? This is yes. I know. YouTube, yes. So think about this, right? Um, yeah, she said that's a lot of TikTok videos. In fact, I did the calculation. If you were to divide 7 hours of content into 90-second Instagram reels, you need 280 reels. And that's assuming people see all of your reels. And we already know not everyone sees all of your reels. So that's a lot of content, yes. To says that's a lot of TikTok videos, yes. So before someone buys, especially in 2026, they go and do a Google search, right? So think about this. If I'm interested in live design that Tucson does, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I see a TikTok video you did. Well, before I pay you $5,000 or $3,000, I don't know what your offer is, I'm gonna Google you, right? So if people Google you, what comes up? Is it only your TikTok videos, or do you have more content like podcast or YouTube where people can go to? I call this allowing people to fall in love with you, right? So imagine if you had content on YouTube and they watch an hour of your video and then they go to the next video. At the end of 2 hours of binging your content, they feel like they know you already. So that's why I believe that you can speed up the process so quickly using YouTube, because people go on YouTube to search for answers to their problems, right? People on Instagram, I believe most of them are there for entertainment. Instagram and Facebook, they're there for entertainment. And if you interrupt them and you're like, oh, I want to help you stop drinking alcohol, well, you might not meet them at the right point for them to be interested in like transformation. But imagine the people who go on YouTube and are like, how to stop drinking 2 bottles of alcohol every night. The search intent is so high because they're going there to solve a specific problem. And so they are more likely to invest in that transformation compared to someone who's just on Instagram browsing cat videos and dog videos. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on this. And so I love the authority hub strategy. This is where you focus on building your authority using long form content. And like I said, video is the fastest way to build trust. When people can look into your eyes in a YouTube video, they feel like they can kind of connect with your vision. They can connect with your framework for getting people results. They can connect with your processes. And so when they jump on a consult call with you, they already decided they want to work with you. Okay. And that's how it has worked for me and my clients. And it's so crazy because you're no longer trying to convince people. Like, you've put out the best content out there. You've told people exactly how you can help them get the transformation, so that those people who come on a consult call, they are already a yes, which is incredible. Okay, so I wanted you to see how the entire system works. I have about 250 hours of content on YouTube. That's incredible. That's incredible, Linda. And so what I have found is that ChatGPT can index those videos. So, Leah, I want you to review your content and make sure that the title and the description are SEO optimized. Okay, so that AI can start referencing and indexing your videos. That's incredible. Also, I want you to check that you have the appropriate call to action in those videos. So when you put out like a 30-minute video, for example, you teach in the video, you give value, and then you have a clear call to action. The call to action could be here is a freebie for you to progress your journey, or the call to action could be um, book a call with me. I want to help you personally. Okay, so I want you to make sure that each of those videos has the correct call to action. I had a YouTube SEO expert contact me this week to offer to increase my views. Is it worth it? I have those people contact me as well. My answer to that is this: the goal is not necessarily to become popular, right? The goal is not to increase your number of views just for the vanity metrics. No. The goal is to get your content in front of the right people. Okay. So, like I said, I've had those people, in fact, at least once a day, I have those messages on my social media, directly on YouTube. They comment on your videos. And what I have found is that many of them use strategies that don't help you. For example, they have sites where they can paste your YouTube videos, and many of these sites are in countries like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, right? And so the reason I know this is because I gave it a try, right? And I said to this guy, okay, here are two of my videos. Do what you say you're gonna do to increase my views. Well, he finished the work, and I looked at my analytics. All of them were from India, Bangladesh. None of them were quality leads, like, and it just tanked my channel. Like, you know how you can see your analytics in the back end. So if this YouTube SEO expert wants to help you, you can tell him that, well, my target audience is older women who are in the US, and that's where you want your videos to be promoted. And then see what he tells you. He's going to tell you something like, oh, we only promote to worldwide audiences. Okay, so you can ask the person that and see what they come back with. If they say that they are going to show your videos to your target audience, then I would say yes. And when they've done the work, go to your analytics in the back end, your YouTube studio, and you can see who they promoted your video to. Okay. Susan says, how long is a long form video? So I usually say about 30 minutes. 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I think, is good enough. If you can bring it down to like 25 minutes, that's fine, because you want it to be straight to the point, right? You don't want people to feel like it's just a long video for the sake of being a long video. You want it to be very valuable so that the people who watch see it as valuable. Okay, because YouTube also looks at a metric called watch time. So if your watch time is low, then they're not going to recommend your video to new audiences. So watch time means that when people click to view your video, how long do they stay before they go on to the next video? That's what the watch time is. Those are great questions. Okay, so I wanted to show you this as how the ecosystem works. The ecosystem of a successful and profitable coaching business. It starts with the hub, where people find you publicly. I recommend YouTube, but you could also do an audio podcast. And then from your hub, they get to your email list, and the route is through a lead magnet. And then from your email list, you nurture them. I have a 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time you are giving value, and then 20% of the time you're asking them to attend a workshop or book a call. And in the workshop, my my coach, her name is Jody Moore, she says, this is where we sign on the dotted lines, right? So think about dating a guy. When someone meets you for the first time, well, you don't expect them to propose to you, right? If they did, you're going to be like, are you crazy? Right? So the process is you meet a guy, if you're dating, you meet a guy, and then you exchange phone numbers, and then you go out on a couple of dates. You maybe meet his parents or his family, and then he asks you to marry him after some time, right? I believe building a business is like that sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. I have had people find me on the same day, well, couple of days. Octavia, one of my current clients, she found me on Eventbrite and attended my workshop. And after the workshop, she booked a call and then she became a client. So it doesn't mean that it's going to take weeks or months. I'm just saying that, and the reason she did that is because in her words, she binged on my YouTube videos, right? So remember, I said you can speed this up really quick. Linda says, as per the videos, ask your friends to let your long form content to play all the way to the end. Then they go do other stuff. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. Also, you're welcome to some. All right. Okay. Another way I want you to look at this, and I think this kind of brings it all together nicely, is the ecosystem. So, remember I said the hub is where people kind of binge your long form content. Then from the hub, they grab your lead magnet. Your lead magnet is your free gift to get them on your email list. On your email list, you nurture them, you humanize yourself, you build relationships, right? And then you invite them to a workshop and then they become clients. There are some people that will DM you on Instagram or LinkedIn from seeing your post and they're ready to work with you. All right. So it doesn't mean that you must follow this process sequentially. It just like I have analyzed at least my last 20 clients, and all of them have said the same thing. They found me, they went to like watch my content on YouTube, and then decided that they were going to hire me. I love using this example because many people are so afraid of sales. But when I tell you that sales is just a game of numbers, and I came across this kind of research done in the 1900s by an insurance company, and the insurance company just sent out agents, and all of the agents, they told them to say specific words. They gave them a script, and the agents would go. So these are insurance agents. They would go knock on doors. When someone would open the door, the insurance agents would say, "You're not looking to buy life insurance, are you?" That was their pitch. "You're not looking to buy life insurance, are you?" And then people will just close the door, not interested, all of those things. Well, what the insurance company found was that after 100 doors, 30 people would be interested in having a conversation. And of those 30 people, 10 people would book an appointment. And of those 10 people, 3 people will close the sale. And so once they found their base numbers, they could then improve. So instead of saying, "You're not looking to buy life insurance, are you?" They started to define a more, I want to say, interactive conversation instead of just saying those words, right? But they only started improving their numbers when they had their baseline numbers. And so this is what I have discovered, that if you want to have a successful and profitable coaching business, you have to first find your ratio. And by ratio, I mean how many, for example, if you use workshops as your conversion mechanism, how many workshops do you have to host before you sign a client? So then if you found out that, oh, if I hosted 5 workshops, I end up with 12 clients. So we can, let's say, 5 workshops brings in 12 clients. How can we then improve your messaging? How can we improve? Like, there are many elements we can improve when it comes to workshop conversion. So I believe you need to find your averages first before you can start to improve. Now, what I have found is that many coaches never wait to find their averages before they give up. So, for example, they would host 5 workshops and then give up and say workshops don't work. Well, I am proof that workshops work, right? So, remember the cycle of change I showed you earlier? Um, for those who have been successful in their coaching businesses, I have found that they waited long enough to find what works. Okay. So once you know your love of averages, you can start to track your numbers. And then that's how you improve and get better. There are 4 reasons why selling feels hard to many people. One, they don't believe in the value of their offer. Two, they don't believe people will pay that price. Three, they think they're overpriced. And four, they need the sale. Okay, that's good news. I did one workshop and got one warm knee. And now I'm a little hesitant to do another one. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you came here today. You have to do at least, I want to say 10 more. By the time you've done 10, obviously you're going to sign clients by then. But here's what happens, you're going to get so much better. And now you're going to know your numbers. Okay? She said 10 different topics. You're gonna test. Okay, so how I found the topics that convert is I tested. At this point, I've done like must have been 50 workshops, 50 different workshops. I was testing different things with my audiences, and then I found what works. Okay, so yes, 10 tests, 10 different topics, and this is where ChatGPT can help you a great deal. So train your ChatGPT. Tell it your audience, tell it your offer, tell it your goals, how much you want to make per month, and then tell it to give you workshop titles that your target audience will register for. Now, always think about solving a problem for your target audience, right? So think about what your target audience are currently typing on Google, searching for answers for. Your workshop title should answer that problem. So, for example, I did that last week. It's awesome with ChatGPT. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, imagine if I was a weight loss coach, one of my workshop titles could be how to stop craving sweets at night, right? That could be a workshop title. Another one could be um, I don't know, how to love drinking water, right? So your workshop titles should be answering the questions that your target audience is searching for. And it says, how long before the workshop do you normally promote the workshop? Like last time I did 2 weeks. Yes, I recommend 3 weeks. So I can show you mine. So mine, let me go back to, I'm just looking at my Eventbrite. So the way I do mine, I give at least 3 weeks, and then just to allow people to see the workshop, register for the workshop, and I actually promote my workshop on Eventbrite. So I pay Eventbrite like $2 a day to promote the workshop, and that really works for me. And I love to give a number of days so that, for example, if someone landed on the page and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not available this Friday, you want to give them options. So instead of just having one date, in my experience, I have found that having multiple dates for people to choose from really helps. For example, the one we had on the 3rd, so when was the 3rd? 6 days ago, we had 15 people attend from 49 registrations, right? Which is incredible. For today, I decided not to send um, any kind of reminder emails. I wanted to see how many people would show up, and today I have 2 people from 25 registrations. And bear in mind that you could also email those people with a replay, right? Because research shows that 15% of people who register will attend live, usually 15%. And so you can then email those people that didn't attend with the workshop replay, right? That's one strategy that has worked for me in the past. Great questions. I'd love to talk about the Tesla principle. So think about if you were selling a Tesla for $10, how would you show up to sell? Like if you had a brand new Tesla and you were selling it for $10, your energy will be different compared to how you sell your offer right now. So think about creating that value perception for your offer so that when you show up to sell your offer, for you, it's like a no-brainer. You're like, oh my gosh, this offer for $1,000, you have to get it. This is the best offer for the transformation you're gonna get. Yeah. Irresistible offers. Alex Hormozy calls this an offer is irresistible for the target audience if they feel stupid saying no to the offer. If they feel stupid or foolish saying no to the offer. Well, if I was offering you a brand new Tesla for $10, if you say no, well, I'm gonna be like, do you even understand the value I'm offering you just for $10, right? So I love the way Alex Hormozy defines an irresistible offer. Selling isn't persuasion. Selling is alignment. Okay? The reason I love to say this is because many people are so afraid to sell that they hide their offer. And you and I know that your offer will help so many people in the world. But because coaches struggle to sell, then they don't make the impact in the world that they want to make. So I encourage you to stop convincing and start positioning. If I can save someone 5,000 interrupt, oh my gosh. I'm going to read this for people who cannot see the chat. If you are watching the replay. So Linda says, if I can save someone $5,000 in drunk driving tickets, jail time in patient detox, liver failure, and divorce, it is worth more than $100. I want to say it is worth more than $10,000. Yes. And I love how you said that. That's how you need to position your offer because people need to see the cost value benefit, right? What is over dependence on alcohol costing people? Yes, so needed. Yeah. Tucson State, so needed. Amazing work, Linda. Yes, your offer is so needed. I love this so much. So one of the things I want you to take from this workshop is instead of finding people to sell to, I want you to start asking yourself, how do I position myself so that people who are already looking for what I have to offer can find me easier? So in this example, I'm using a marriage coach, but let's use Linda's niche for example. So instead of Linda cold DMing people on Instagram and LinkedIn and asking them, do you want to stop drinking alcohol? Instead of trying to find clients and convince people, imagine if she positioned herself so that people who are already looking for help can find her. And so here's the question. How many people do you think right now in the world? I know we have 8 billion people. I don't know. Is it 10 billion people in the world? I don't know. But of all the billions of people in the world, how many people do you think are right now searching for someone to help them reduce their alcohol intake? So many people. So many people right now are just looking for the person that will help them stop drinking. So question, exactly, hundreds of thousands. I want to say millions. So question is, how do you position yourself so that those people who are already looking for help find you, right? So stop worrying about people who need convincing that alcohol will damage their liver. That takes hard work, right? Ask yourself, how do I position myself in front of people who are already looking for what I have to offer? And I think that's the right question to ask than to say, how do I convince people? How do I find people? Um, okay, so sell to the right people. Okay, sell to people who know they want your offer, not just need your offer. Right. So let's go back to Linda's niche again. We know that so many people have alcohol dependency, and we know they need Linda's offer, right? But not all of them want it. There's a difference between need and want. The people who want your offer will pay for it. These are people who already know they have alcohol dependency. These are people who already know that their liver can stop working if they continue drinking that much alcohol, and people who can afford to pay, right? So people who need your offer but cannot afford to pay, those are not your clients, right? Because you're not trying to run a charity. However, if you build your business to become very successful, then you can have a charitable arm, right? So think about Tony Robbins. When Tony Robbins started, he didn't start with the charity he has now. He started with charging people so that he could build a hugely profitable business. And now he has a charitable arm. So I want you to focus on serving people who can pay for your services instead of trying to help everybody because you know, oh, this person needs my help, but they're struggling to pay rent. Well, if someone is struggling to pay rent, they are not your ideal clients. Okay, so sell to rich people. Okay, sell to rich people. And then when you're uber successful, you can have a charitable arm to help people who cannot afford it. You can help them for free. But for now, if you want to have a successful business, focus on selling to rich people. Okay, we already talked about this rule. Yeah, she said, rich older women who are retired with nothing else to do but drink and sit by the pool. Those are your clients because they have the money. Exactly. They have the money and they have the time to invest in their transformation. They are retired, right? They have the time. And when you sell the element of community, of kind of friendship, it's like a no-brainer, right? So these older rich women, they value community, especially in the age of AI, right? People want that human connection more. Okay. I'm gonna close with this. Yeah, I'm gonna close with this. Your implementation plan, know your numbers, and then you're not under pressure. So this is what I want to close with. When you know your numbers and you know that if you run 10 workshops, you're gonna get 12 clients. When you know those numbers, you're not gonna be desperate for the sale. When you're desperate for a sale, people can smell it from miles off. One of my mentors, his name is Myron Golding. He calls this the commission breath. You know those salespeople that you can sense that they just want to sell you so that they can earn commission. People can smell that from miles off. So if you know your numbers, you already know that if you do X amount of actions in your business, you're going to make X amount of dollars. When you know that, you're not going to be desperate when you're talking to people. You're not going to be desperate to close a sale. And when you're no longer desperate, that's when you attract people. Think about this. Have you ever attended a job interview when you already have a job, right? So let's say you aren't really looking for a job, but a headhunter message you on LinkedIn, and you're like, okay, let me just see what this is. And then you go for the interview and you're offered the job. On the other hand, if someone was laid off and they're desperate for a job, they go on interview after interview after interview and they keep hearing no, 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 no. You know why that is? It's because of the energy. There is an energy when I am not desperate for a job, it becomes attractive. Like it's something that happens at a subconscious level. And this is what happens with sales as well. especially with running a coaching business. When you're not desperate for the sale, that's when people are attracted to you. That's when they want to work with you. And all of this happens when you know your numbers. Okay. So if this is the only thing you take from this workshop, I want you to go and start tracking your numbers and say, for me to make $10,000 in my business, these are the specific actions I need to take to generate 10,000. Once you have your baseline, then we can make it better. We can improve. I know I said that was the last thing I wanted to leave you with, but something else came to my mind just now. But while I think, tell me if you have any questions. She says, sounds great. Yes. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. So the thing that just came into my mind was the analogy of planting a garden versus hunting. So the system I just described to you, especially where you build your 7 hours of content on YouTube and the ecosystem I showed you, it's all about planting your garden. It takes time to grow, right? So even though it takes time to grow, you can still feed your family right now, right? So think about this. If I was planting a garden, I wanted to have a big allotment in front of my house, and I go get all this stuff and I start planting, I'm not going to reap my harvest in the next couple of weeks. Very unlikely, unless I'm growing herbs, right? I don't know, whichever herbs grows fast. But if I tend the garden, in about 6 months, I'm going to reap some reward. But while I am planting my garden, I need to feed my family right now. I need to go hunting. And so think about hunting as going live on Instagram, right? So if I wanted to sign, let's say my goal is I want to sign 5 clients before the end of March. If I'm launching my business brand new, I'm going to start posting my content on YouTube. I'm building my ecosystem just like I described. But if I wanted clients right now, I'm going to go live on Instagram. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give value for free on Instagram, and then I'm going to invite people to book a call. That's hunting, right? So depending on where you are in your business, you can decide, oh, I want to land clients right now while I plant my garden for the future. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah,
I think that was a lot.
I'll ask a question. As far as that Instagram thing, I've done stuff on Instagram, part of it maybe not consistently enough to get anybody to even book a call. I don't get people to book calls, and I'm maybe not doing it right. How do you do that logistically?
Yes, great question. So when I was still like growing my business, like I no longer do it because even now I'm not making offers, right? I'm completely fully booked. But if you go on my Instagram from those days, I would go live and give value, right? I'll teach a concept. Now I'm not gonna make it too long. I'll teach a concept, and then I'm gonna invite people to book a call, or I'm gonna say, here is a free gift. That's another thing that really worked for me as well. I would give them a free gift just to get them on my email list. And then I already have a sequence behind that to build relationships. So for everyone that gets on my email list, I send what I call my story email. This is what humanizes me. And then I've been tracking my numbers. Over 15% of people respond to that email. And once they respond, I start to build relationship. And I'm like, oh, tell me more about your business. Tell me, So your email sequence behind your lead magnet has to be very personable. Okay. So on Instagram, what works for me is I give value, and then I invite people to book a call. Now, one thing I didn't stress on the diagram I showed was storytelling. storytelling. You have to learn the skill of telling stories. And when I say telling stories, I mean telling your story as well as your client's stories. So I know, Linda, you've worked with so many women. You have amazing testimonials. You need to learn the skill of sharing those testimonials. Now, I'm not sure if you have permission to use their full names in your testimonials. If you do, great. If you don't, you can still tell the story in a very compelling way so that people see the transformation you can help them get. Okay?
Perfect. So it sounds like going live is the key. Going live, not just posting a video, but actually doing a live on Instagram. I've never even done that.
Oh, yeah. So live was converting for me so much. In fact,
Wow.
so well. So if I was to go back to like being active on Instagram, it would be the Instagram live. Because for some reason, the Instagram algorithm treats Instagram live differently. When you go live, it messages, like it notifies your contacts to say, oh, Linda is live right now. Mm-hmm. So, so yeah, lives really, really worked for me. But for now, I think there's now a new rule that you have to have a certain number of followers before you can go live.
Yeah. TikTok. I do have that. I hired somebody and in 24 hours he got me 1,000 followers on TikTok. So there are people, yeah, and it doesn't matter if they're from Bangladesh. I just needed that so I could go live. It didn't matter. But that's good to know. I'm going to check out the Instagram thing. And, don't give up either with that whole posting things or doing things, because I uploaded a YouTube short yesterday for my event that's coming Thursday about my story and being sober curious. And I hadn't even put anything on it as far as my offer, I just uploaded it from my phone, and I went back to add the stuff today, and I had 880 views and 3 comments, and I'm like, holy cow, I need to do more of this. So you just don't know what's going to take, and playing around with your titles and all of that stuff really matters. So thank you so
That's
much.
incredible.
Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. That's wonderful. Good to see
You're
you in
so welcome.
person. Tuzan?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to turn on my camera because I'm like sitting in the dark. But I do have a question for both of you. How are you finding time to film all of this content? Because I'm a certified coach, but like I also have a whole nother business that's unrelated.
Mm.
So I'm like, how much time am I gonna need to invest in filming content in order to get clients?
It just rolls off of me. I have a couple things that I do, like every Saturday morning for ever since COVID. I've been doing a live thing on Facebook that I now do. That YouTube has now got a thing I upload, and YouTube does shorts off of your videos. And so does StreamYard. I use StreamYard as well. And once you get done doing that, mine's a half hour or 25 minutes or so. Then I click on the create shorts, and I'll get 3, 4 shorts that then I can upload quick. The time consuming thing is getting the hang of the downloading and uploading. I'd prefer to do shorts on my phone, and it takes me 2 minutes. And there's a couple of really cool things like Veed, VEED. It automatically edits and puts the writing on it, the captions for you, and it's free, and it's an amazing tool. So for me, it was learning a lot of those tools. And feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my stuff, and I'd be more than happy to share some of my tools to make it quick and easy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That is so incredible, Linda, and that's why I really, really love you. So generous and so giving, and yeah, exactly what Linda said. And I want to add that do not look for perfection. Okay, so for most people, I see that when they are trying to perfect their videos, then they waste so much time. So think about the people you're here to serve, they really don't want perfection. They don't want all those kind of very highly curated, professionally done videos. So if you think about this and you're like, oh, I want to just put out high value content, valuable content for 25 minutes, and you do that. And also when you like use exactly what you have, right? The
Mm,
tools you have are exactly what you need right now. I believe the goal is to get used to the process of doing it. Once you get used to the process, like Linda says, it's gonna roll off like quicker and faster. And when I started, I was horrible. I was afraid. I was like, oh my gosh, people are not going to understand my accent. I am not pretty enough. I have 25 pounds to lose. All of those things. But don't allow your naughty twin to keep telling you those things. The people you're here to serve, they're just going to be like, she can help me. All right. And so that's one thing that really helped me as I started to do. And because I became consistent, like that's the best personal development I've ever done. My YouTube and my podcast. And I became so consistent that my podcast got to top 2%. Right now it's top 2% globally just because of consistency. I was showing up, whether I was sick. Like I for over 2 years and 8 months, I haven't missed 1 week consistently, right?
Live, doing it live.
No. I don't do it live. I record on Zoom and then upload. Um, like it's just grown me as a human being. Like just that consistency of showing up and doing it every single week. Like it's just grown me as a human being. So I encourage you. Nobody will listen at the beginning, but you are doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your personal growth, and before you know it, like people are gonna start messaging you like, oh my gosh, you changed my life. And they're crying, you changed my life. And I'm like, how did I change your life? I've never even met you just from my
mhm.
content. It's just profound, the impact we can make.
The other thing, Tazan, that I have realized as coaches, we're in this to change lives. What finally clicked for me, and I get choked up when I think about it, it may not be for 50 years that they see
Mm,
your video on YouTube and you change a life.
Mhm.
That's transformation. And mine is more of a eternal long
mm,
range goal anyway. It's more of an investment in a person's soul. And I don't really, I'm in it to win it for them. And I
mm,
don't care if I see the dollars and cents, because that's not
mm,
really what I'm on this earth for. If
mm,
God so gracious is to give me money, which I get, for I'm a counselor,
mm,
so I get money every day.
mm,
Mhm.
So I don't need to do the coaching. I don't need to do any of that. I clicked on open to new clients, and I had 10 new clients within 24 hours. So
Mm.
I could be working 24/7 and have plenty of clients and make this 10 grand a month if I wanted to, but I want a specific population and a larger opportunity doing it with less time
Yeah.
in the large group coaching. So I just think this is so cool. And what is it that you do? Do you do human design? Is that what you do, or what's your thing?
It's life design. So basically, who I'm targeting is people like me. So I recently quit my corporate job and I kind of ended up down the path that I was on because my parents told me I couldn't do something very specific coming out of high school into college. And I hear that a lot. A lot of higher level professionals are being convinced by family members and friends and whatever that they can't do what they really want to do. So
Right.
my job is, or what I want to do is combine core energy coaching, which is what I'm trained in, as well as design thinking to help people get really creative about how can you get back to that thing that you really want to be doing.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I was a career coach, and that's what's your purpose in life? Because
Yeah.
if we're not doing what we love, we're going to have anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
turn to alcohol because you're miserable. Oh, I love
Yeah.
what you're doing. That's a
Yeah.
great niche.
Yeah. It'll really mess you up. I couldn't figure out, I was in corporate and I was so burnt out and I couldn't figure out why. Cause I'm like, I'm not even working that
mm.
hard, but it's like, I don't even want to be doing this. So it's so much harder to get it done.
So can't you do the videos for, I mean, it sounds like the other coaching business that you've got, don't they kind of go together?
Yeah, so it's weird. So my other business is I'm actually a marketing consultant in the beauty industry. So it's
Okay.
completely different because it's like a world that I've been in for years. And I don't really have to try that hard to get clients. It's like people kind of know me. They're like, and people like I get referrals and stuff. So it's completely different. I don't do a lot of marketing there. Yeah, I don't do a lot of marketing myself there. I do marketing for my clients.
Oh,
So this is like completely separate and I'm trying to figure out how to find the time for it, but it's not making me money right now. So I kind of keep deprioritizing it.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
It's
This
hard.
is so this is so beautiful, and I want to ask for your contact details, so people can reach out to you, because like this is so beautiful conversation we are having, and someone is gonna be listening and they're like, oh, I want Linda's help. I want Tucson's help for your specific niche. Tucson, if you send me like you can drop your links here so that when I'm posting the video, I'm gonna like link people to you because I know you can help people right now. I know you're busy, you're fully booked, but just what you describe right now, someone is like, I need her help. Right.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Okay, I
And
just brought my
so
website.
is this your one that you are launching? Your new one that you're launching?
Yeah, it's pretty much already launched. I already did two virtual events actually at the beginning of the year talking about goals. And like I said, I got one warm lead from it and we're still in conversation. But I'm like, that was a lot of work to get one warm lead. So I'm like, do I want to do it again? But people loved it. Like the feedback was phenomenal. It just didn't get me clients. So
So
The
do
yeah,
you
go ahead.
do you have videos on YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I've been doing TikTok because it's short form. So like I'll
Yeah.
just set up my camera and my phone and literally just talk. I do it one time through and just post it. And I've just been posting roughly one video a day, but they're short. They're like 1, 2 minutes.
You got to put them on YouTube. Put them on YouTube. YouTube is the one that's going to stay forever, and it's the
Yeah.
number one most sought after because it's a Google thing. So just start a YouTube channel, and then you put it on your phone, and then you just click the exact same way you do on TikTok, and it goes right up there from your YouTube phone app, and boom, now you've got it on YouTube also. I think that'll help you, but I see clients all week long, and that is probably 90% of them, honest to God, hate their jobs and would rather do something else. So
Mm,
I do a lot of your work in my job all the time, even though I'm doing a divorce, something, it's that kind of thing because they
Yeah.
think that they get stuck. So
Yeah.
that's great. We really should talk. We really
Yeah.
should.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. So just reach out, and yeah, let's hook up. You can actually go to my website, lindalarsenschlitz.com, and I've got a link on there where you can just sign up for a time and we can get together.
Okay. I'll do that right after this call.
Okay, super.
I was gonna say something and it's just gone off my head. What I was gonna say, one of them was to your point, Linda, about people hating their jobs. One of my friends, she's the host of a show called um, it's just gone off my head now. But anyways, she was on my podcast and she said that she hated her job so much that she was driving to work and a voice just came to her head that she should hit a pole and have an accident so she doesn't have to go to work that day.
Yes.
That's when she
Yes.
realized how much she hated her job. So
Yep.
there are
Wow.
so many people who are kind of languishing in their job that you can help to some. And the other point I wanted to underline when you said you only had one lead from that workshop.
Mhm.
My client, Kimberly Gucci, I was just going to get her name from my client folder. She attended my workshop in November last year and
Mhm.
she just signed as my client and paid
Wow.
me 10K, right? So I want you to know that the work you did for that workshop, it doesn't go to waste, okay?
Mhm.
So it's gonna start compounding if you keep doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Don't give up. I've been doing this. I quit my corporate job in 2014 and started my coaching business.
Mhm.
And I've really been around the horn a million different directions, and that's okay. It's all part of the journey. And every moment that we're doing things, coming to, I wasn't going to come here, but Joy was helping me do my thing. And she said, just said, here, look at mine. And I signed up and I'm like, what the heck? I may as well go. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I came. Yeah, this has been
Thank you
great.
so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I'm so glad I did as well, because I'm like, should I cancel today? I am so tired from a long day coaching clients, but I'm so glad I did. And I think that's the impact of our work as coaches. We get to impact lives. So please be encouraged, Tucson, to always think about those people who are languishing in their jobs because you're not helping them. So I know you're busy. I know you have your marketing consulting job, but if this is what lights you up, I want you to always think of those people and say, oh, I'm going to find 25 minutes this week to do a YouTube video for them and just serve them. And you're going to see it's going to keep coming back to you in multiple folds.
You know, the other thing is, since you've already got all those videos that you've been posting on TikTok, you start a YouTube channel. And the key is keywords. Put the right keywords in there. And there's kind of a trick. So watch a couple YouTube videos on how to market your shorts, but upload them as shorts. And man, you're going to get a whole different group of people that are watching those.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because that's like super low hanging fruit. Like they're already ready, just migrate
They're
them
already
over.
done. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what I'm doing too. I have, like I said, 250 hours. I'm like, why am I creating new content? I'm just now going to go back and repurpose it and start an actual, what do you call it? Do stuff on the radio, a podcast, a podcast from the vault from, 5 years ago, because what I said 5 years ago is just as relevant to what I'm saying today. Nothing has changed. I've been doing it for 10 years. So I've got so much content that I just need to repurpose it. And that I'm probably going to hire out somebody to just take all my stuff and here, make this into something, because that's time I don't want to spend, but I could and I have. But what I'm suggesting you do, Tuzanta, is not hard. It won't take you any time at all. You've already got your graphics here. You can just start a YouTube thing with your graphics, some of your graphics that you've got here. Yeah, do it on Canva. It'll be great. I'm excited to see where this takes you.
Yeah, I'm excited. And thank you for this. Like I wasn't same. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go. I had a busy day, but I'm glad I showed up. This was great.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. Yeah, I was just going to say a lesson to everyone watching the replay. Like, it doesn't matter if it's just one person on your workshop. There's a reason why you're here to serve people. So even if it's just one person that shows up live, do the workshop and serve them. Okay? Right. Blessing to myself, my future self, and anybody else that watches the replay.
Because that one person might be the one that sends you your next 50 clients. You know, you just don't know. So I put my content, my thing in the chat there. So if you want to just click on that, Tuzan, and you can sign up. Thank you again, Joy. You're such a blessing. God bless you.
Blessing too. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you. Okay.
It was great meeting you as
Bye,
well. Thank you for doing
God
this.
bless you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.